Hello and welcome everyone to Ananke's fourth edition of Women in Literature Festival. I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome our guest, Arpita Das. She is the publisher, Yoda publisher, and an advisor to Ananke's Women in Literature Festival. Welcome, Arpita.
Thank you, Sabine.
Arpita, it is not only a pleasure to host you here, but I'm really looking forward to your address because I know the kind of insight and the kind of insight you'll provide us. So before we start, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can move on to your address.
Well, as you said, I'm with Yoda Press Publisher, which I founded 20 years ago exactly. This is the 20th year, which makes this very, very special indeed. And apart from my publishing career, I also around 11 years ago started teaching at university, started teaching various courses, first at the master's level, on courses on ways of reading, and now at the undergraduate level, and also at the senior undergraduate and master's level on writing, academic writing and creative writing. So I think what I'm going to talk about today is informed by my experience in both publishing and teaching. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Please, the floor is yours.
Right. This friend of mine who's an academic pedagogist as well, like myself, Ananya Dasgupta, is a school and college friend, and now our paths are intersecting again as writing pedagogists. She always says writing professors, writing instructors, they are good with teaching and discussing, they're not good with addressing. But anyway, and I'm realizing now today why what she meant, because I teach, I train, I run workshops, I do seminars, but this is a whole new experience. But anyway, here goes. Hi, everyone. Such an honor for me to be opening this year's edition of the Ananke Women in Literature Festival with this keynote address. I started participating in this marvelous annual event during the pandemic, and it was heartening to be able to speak one's heart out and engage with other kindred spirits from across the world at that time, when we were all locked in and lost. I want to thank Sabine Muzaffar, the force behind Ananke in this event, for giving me this opportunity to speak about something today which is very close to my heart. Kindness as intelligence in the home, the academy, and the creative industries. Sabine, you might notice I've added the home as well. That was a last-minute tweak. Kindness as intelligence has had a totemic importance for me as an idea and a way of living and engaging for the last couple of decades. I most recently heard these words being uttered by a brilliant young writing pedagogist, Rohini Sen, at a critical writing symposium. And I felt like cheering for her loudly in that quiet room. How and why did this idea become so important for me, you might ask? Like many others in my generation, I grew up prioritizing intelligence as intellectual accomplishment and academic and professional success. This led to massive upheavals in my inner world by the time I hit my 30s, and especially when I experienced motherhood. I had many, many years of tremendous self-doubt. the creeping feeling of being an imposter, and constant questioning on the lines of, is this enough? This state of being persisted till I was compelled to change my attitude and begin to see kindness as the highest form of intelligence. In these fraught times, we need this thought even more than ever. In our classrooms, meeting rooms, and offices, on our streets and apartment complexes, but most importantly, in our homes. Because the home is really a make it or break it space when it comes to making us understand that it is not about kindness versus success, but kindness even in success. I've noticed that as one grows older, no matter how radical our politics have been in our youth, politics that enabled us to be equitable and grounded at that time. But as we grow older, we tend to become complacent in our self-righteousness. I'm thinking of responses I've heard often from my seniors and peers, like, I managed this when I was young, so why can't they? Or something like, this generation, whether the matter is about period leave, water scarcity, mental health issues, or public transport problems. To me, this smacks of a deep-seated and bitter form of unkindness. It also indicates to me an impaired intelligence. Because what was the point of all your radical politics in your youth if it didn't mean that things were going to change in the future? Radical politics preempt paradigm shifts in perspectives, in vocabularies, and practices. So how can we, when we are of a certain age, be partisan about the changes wrought by the politics we once held dear? This is something I think about often in both my spheres of work, in my role as an independent publisher, as well as a visiting professor in a university. My time in the classroom over the last 11 years of teaching has been invaluable for me. And I've been deeply influenced by Bell Hooks's idea for the classroom as delineated in her work, Teaching to Transgress. What resonates with me the most among her ideas, and what I've tried to stay true to in my own classroom dynamic, is her idea of the classroom as a communal space with radical possibilities. My classroom is first and foremost a safe space. And as Bell Hooks says, does not become so by just saying so. It can only be achieved by making sure that every single person in the classroom is present and engaged. And this is only possible if every single student in the classroom feels individually seen by the teacher. Hooks writes, during my 20 years of teaching, I have witnessed a grave sense of dis-ease among professors, irrespective of their politics. When students want us to see them as whole human beings with complex lives and experiences, rather than simply as seekers after compartmentalized knowledge. Sadly, university classrooms remain flushed with this disease in our world even today. Often I meet other university professors who seem to hate teaching, but the ambition of an academic career and a paucity of exclusively research-oriented jobs keeps them plodding into the classroom week after week. This dejected individual can barely see herself, let alone her students. Hooks writes of a classroom where one can experiment with engaged pedagogy. This is hard though, because not only does it presuppose us knowing our students well, but it also means we must not be scared to show our own vulnerabilities in the classroom. This is when real engagement occurs. In my own industry as well, which I think of more and more under the umbrella of creative industries, young professionals are asking to be seen for whatever they are individually capable of, and thereby being brought into a safe community at the office. Instead, we give them templatized tasks to complete. Swipe in and out without being too much of an annoyance, we tell them. We regularly dismiss their ideas and give them nothing to hold on to as truly inspirational in the industry. In this regard, I have spoken a few times about how much more thoughtful mentoring is required in the creative industries. And mentoring not as a charitable act, but with the knowledge on the senior professional's part that they too have a lot to learn from the younger person in this fast changing ecosystem. In other words, what we now call reverse mentoring. Indeed, the act of mentoring has to be normalized as not being one-sided for it to really matter. We have to see it as an act that is dyadic, dynamic, and diverse. For me, kindness as intelligence lies at the base of all these thoughts. And the understanding that we will never stop learning till the day we die. Ananke has, over the last few years of becoming familiar with Sabine and her team and the space, Ananke has felt to me like a space which resonates with this idea. This sort of a space which is safe, which is enabling, and which allows true engagement. And so I'm so very happy to have opened this festival edition with these fragmentary yet very earnest thoughts from my side. Thank you all, and hope you all have wonderful sessions and terrific exchanges over the next 2 days.
Thank you so much, Arpita, for this wonderful address. And thank you for the warm words of appreciation as well. It's you and all the partners and allies that make this space what it is. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Abhi. Thank you.
If anyone has any questions, the floor is open. Just raise your hand. Dr. Niaz, would you like to say something?
Good morning. I am sorry, I just could not hear her. And I mentioned it.
God.
I just,
Yes.
I tried very hard. I strained to follow, but I just could not. But I just stayed. I'm sorry. But I hope that if it is on YouTube, I think you said,
It is.
Yes. It's recorded, right?
Was there
so
a problem
maybe
with
I
mic?
will.
No. It was fine. Maybe
I will
speaker.
Listen to it later. Anyway, congratulations, Sabine, and all of you. And I look forward to the rest of the day. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Niaz. I think, Arpita, there may be some, because I can hear you perfectly, and nobody else basically said anything about
Ishita, could she hear me? I don't know.
Ishita.
Yeah, she said I could hear it.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Arpita.
I'll see you in the evening.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay then. Bye-bye.